Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, GavinRichardEsq1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel GBoot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Zelle, and Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of a traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively.
What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn that attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why a trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
That is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, the destruction of due process in the United States is available on Amazon Kindle. You want to go and pick that up, ladies and gentlemen, there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Random Topic Thursdays. The place to be is right here with me on YouTube channel GBoo2786, on Gavin Richard, Facebook, and Periscope, via Twitter. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you're blessed and doing safe. On tonight's broadcast, we shall discuss the following. New York Attorney General sues Donald Trump. Boston Celtics coach Ime Udoka is likely to be suspended for a year due to alleged affairs. Tiffany Haddish claims she can't get any new gigs due to sexual assault allegations. And Kadeem, Hardison, and Jasmine guy complain about how NBC treated A Diff'rent World. All this and more tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we're going to be bringing on our author extraordinaire, brother Shawn James, the author of books such as Stop Simping in Cyberspace as of now. You can also get the book, The Woman Crisis. Pre-order the book. It'll be available in November. And I know Shawn is going to plug in about that. But support our brother by going on Amazon and checking out some of his other books. Then, okay. In the meantime, you can also support us by donating to the ticker at the bottom, the Cash App, PayPal, Google Pay. This channel is not monetized, so anything you contribute would be greatly appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. But go to Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com and order you some good old Creole seasoning blicks. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. And finally, of course, our music song, ladies and gentlemen, we have songs such as Video Soul, which is and Gotta Get On Up, which is available on iTunes. And of course, as always, we like to get on up. So without further ado, let us get on up before we get down.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yo, feel the groove, get on the floor. We got to get on up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and bring our brother extraordinaire, the author of The Woman Crisis and also The Man Crisis, Mr. Shawn James in here. How you doing today, Shawn?
I'm good, Gavin. How are you?
All right. Let me know, everybody, if you can hear Shawn clearly. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and Shawn clearly, if you can hear the audio. I take it everybody is good because I haven't gotten any complaints. Danielle would tell me if something was wrong. Well, Shawn, did you want to plug in something again? I talked about The Woman Crisis being available for pre-order right now. How much is that?
Well, the ebook is going to be $7.99 on The Woman Crisis, and the book will be $19.99 for the paperback.
All right. Is there something else you want to plug into? Something else you're working on?
All right. Well, the SJS Direct 2022 catalogs, books ISIS Legacy and E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman are available in paperback and Kindle format right now. And if you want to pick up some positive Black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, you can head over to Amazon.com and pick up the 2 books I mentioned and over 70 other titles on Amazon.com.
All right, that's right. We got to give our brother a vacation. We need to make him a millionaire. We need 1 million books right here. Shawn, let's go ahead and get into it. I guess the biggest political news yesterday was the announcement that Donald Trump is being sued by the state of New York. On Wednesday, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, announced that a formal lawsuit had been filed against Donald Trump and 3 of his children involved in the family real estate business, accusing them of falsely inflating his net worth in order to enrich himself and secure favorable loans, inflating his net worth by billions. Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were all deposed during a New York investigation, which began when Trump was president and lasted for 3 years. The lawsuit seeks to bar all 4 Trumps from serving as executives in New York and to prohibit the Trump Organization from acquiring any commercial real estate or receiving loans from New York-based entities for 5 years. James stated, and quote, the complaint This demonstrates that Donald Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system, thereby cheating all of us. He did this with the help of the other defendants. James claims that she uncovered evidence of federal criminal violations, including issuing false statements to financial institutions and bank fraud, and has referred the matter to the Southern District of New York and the IRS. So they're also trying to send this into federal court. And of course, we know Donald Trump likely would not be happy with this. Now, I'm going to play a clip. This is coming from The Guardian.
Comprehensive three-year investigation by my office, including witnesses, interviews with more than 65 witnesses, and review of millions of documents that were submitted by Mr. Trump and others. I am announcing that today we are filing a lawsuit against Donald Trump for violating the law as part of his efforts to generate profits for himself, his family, and his company. The complaint demonstrates that Donald Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system, thereby cheating all of us. He did this with the help of the other defendants, his children, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump, and former Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg and Trump Organization Controller Jeffrey McConney.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump would not go down without tweeting. Of course, it's nothing without Donald Trump lashing out on social media. According to CNBC, Trump said the following. He called Letitia James a racist and said she was grossly incompetent. He also has a nickname for her. I'm just reading his here. They call her Peekaboo. It almost sounds like he's trying to dub it as Jigaboo. I don't know. But that's according to what I'm reading here on Business Insider. Donald Trump refers to New York AG Letitia James Peekaboo. Michael Cohen has a theory, and it isn't X-rated or racist. So Trump had to say that racist AG Letitia Peekaboo James, the failed gubernatorial candidate, has done this thing to try to persuade me from keeping the run in the next election. And I got to tell you, it's not going to work. It won't work. It never has worked. And I come back in. We're going to redo everything that old man Biden has done, and it's going to be terrific. It's going to be like I made Trump Plaza in New Jersey. It's going to be absolutely great. We're going to have boxing fights in the White House. We're going to bring all that back. We're going to have the bowling alley. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be grand. Y'all didn't know I could do Trump too. Well, I have been practicing it a little while longer than I actually thought, and I think it's terrific. Don't you, Shawn?
It's great.
Thank you very much. All right. Shawn, what do you have to say about Letitia James?
Well, when I look at your Letitia James, I can see that this whole civil case is just a political ploy. Because if your Letitia James had some legitimate evidence of what she's alleging, she wouldn't be going after former President Trump with a civil lawsuit. She'd be indicting him with federal charges. But your Letitia James knows that she doesn't have any evidence of anything. So she's trying to go this civil route. And she's trying to do this because she wants to get her name out there. And she wants to go out here and bootleg for your leftists in the blue party. And she wants to go out here and get their favor by trying to go out here and go after President Trump in an effort to get brownie points for herself with Joker Joe Biden. Now, when I look at this whole situation with your Letitia James, again, this is showing me that she is just using the most ratchet tactics to go after your former President Trump. And they're really scared of him actually going out here and winning. So this is all about trying to keep your Donald Trump from running in 2024 because they believe he has a possibility of winning. So this is not about trying to stop Donald Trump for alleged criminal behavior, because we know that white supremacy does not go after white supremacy. And if they did, it's like Satan casting out Satan. Now, I am no supporter of your Donald Trump, but I can look at the facts of this case and see how contrived this whole civil lawsuit is, and how your Letitia James doesn't have the backbone or the stones to go after former President Trump with criminal charges, because she knows that that would upset his base, and that would lead to his base coming out here and basically being energized to go out in November to go to the polls in force. So what she's doing is taking the coward maneuver by trying to have her cake and eat it too, or throw her rock and hide her hand. And this is again something she's doing to try to get brownie points with members in the blue party, hoping that this will get her a job with the Joker Joe's administration in 2024, when all she's going to get is egg on her face, because the leftists, again, they only use black mammies like her, like pawns on the chessboard. And then once
Yeah.
they finish getting her to do the dirty work, they toss her off the chessboard by finding some sort of charge to use against her. Again,
Well, let
your,
me go ahead and finish, Sean.
your
I
Letitia
do.
James is playing checkers on a chessboard. I really would go on to say she's playing Candyland on a chessboard, and she doesn't understand that she's about to get checkmated after she does the dirty work. And that's what happens to black bootlegs, because white supremacy, as Professor Black Truth always says, breaks their toys, and this toy is halfway on its way to becoming broken.
I want to just correct you on something. She can't bring federal charges because she's only the state attorney general.
I know but I'm
Yeah.
saying she's bringing civil charges to try to get
Right,
a
but
case going.
but originally you said federal. She didn't.
Well, that's
bring
my
it-
mistake. But the
Yeah.
whole thing is that she brought up this civil suit because she can't go after him in a criminal case. She knows she doesn't have the evidence. She doesn't have the evidence at all to do anything. And again, this is one big PR stunt to try to go after Donald Trump and make herself look big. But she's going to look like a clown at the end of the day, because in a case, again, white supremacy does not go after white supremacy, especially when there's a black woman leading the charge. And this mammy doesn't understand that the white supremacist doesn't take money from a white supremacist, because white supremacists need that person sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
These people talk a good game about not liking Donald Trump, but they know that they're gonna need him because he's got that sway. So Letitia James is trying to be a hero, but she's going to wind up be turned into a villain. So I've seen this game played with these black mammies and these black bootlicks, and it never ends well.
Well, I see you mentioning that. I'm glad you're bringing that up about using black women, because have you seen this thing? And I'm sure you're going to drop a video on it, but what's been going on with Stacey Abrams and how people on the left are using black men for the reason why she's actually losing in the polls as of now. Now, the race for governor is coming up soon. Of course, we have November coming up. We're not even that far from it. Halloween is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So she's actually been doing low in the polls against incumbent Governor Brian Kemp. And I can tell you, it's tough to beat an incumbent in general in politics. But she has this thing where she's pandering now to black men. And I want to show you, of course, she tried to bring up the fact that they have been trying to bring up the fact that about voter fraud. But the reality is, while there may be, and I don't deny some voting fraud, it didn't factor in that election last time. She lost bad. I mean, she still lost by several thousand votes still. And it looks like as of now, according to Newsweek here, she's at risk of losing to Brian Kemp amid problems with key voters. She said this.
Say with one breath that you care about the lives of women and deny them access to the very health care that can make carrying a healthy baby to term possible. Under this law and under Brian Kemp's refusal to expand Medicaid, many of the women will never have the chance to see a doctor until it's too late. Not only too late to know what is wrong, but too late to do anything about what they learned. And so while he has done a small thing We have a massive issue in Georgia.
So
Before a world of heroes.
stop this. So she came within 1.5 points of becoming the first member of the party elected to the governor's mansion since the official collapse of the old Democratic coalition in 2003 election of Republican Sonny Perdue. So almost 20 years ago. But they say she's behind now. They say her support has barely budged in the race against Kemp, who became a known entity nationally after demonstrating pushback against Trump's efforts to overturn his loss in Georgia in the 2020 presidential election. Now, you see Raphael Warnock, who they don't like either. There was this video going around where some brother was trying to ask about reparations with, did you see this, Shawn?
No, I haven't.
Stacey Abrams was questioned about reparations. It was on Twitter. Somebody was going around. Let's see if I can pull that up. She went into a Chick-fil-A, of course. No, I go into Chick-fil-A too, but it's in Georgia. So she was there at her favorite occupation. Some brother confronted her. Hold on. Yeah, this was it here.
That's right, y'all.
Hey, excuse me, I'll tell you real quick. How you feel about us getting reparations? How you feel about Black Americans getting reparations? You said no reparations?
Yeah, she's not in fan of it. Obviously, if you're not willing to talk about it, I mean, she's been asked about it before, and she gave a half-ass answer, then she's not in favor of it, just like Barack Obama wasn't. Just like Joe Biden is not. President Biden is against it.
How you feel about us getting
But I
reparations?
hate this stuff where they're trying to use
Black
black
Americans
men
getting reparations? You said no reparations?
as the face of, and Tariq Nasheed is talking about it. But this shit by Tiffany Cross, did we talk about this last time, Shawn?
I don't know if we did.
Enough to decide this.
You did a,
But
I
just
think
being
you did
on
a
ground
video
there,
on
Cliff.
this, but this.
What do you make of that? Like, are black
And this-
men large in number enough?
This Bill Nunn looking motherfucker right here. Watch what he says. Remember Dudda Man from Do the Right Thing?
Yeah, Radio Raheem.
Yeah, and he played by Robbie on Spider-Man.
Enough to decide this race for Stacey Abrams, or is this just a headline that's more yellow journalism and sensationalism than truth?
Yeah, good morning, Tiffany. Great to be here with you. Yeah, I mean, obviously, black males, black men voters make up enough of a block where we can be a part of what the difference is. And we got to keep in mind, we're talking about a state where in the presidential election in 20, the difference was famously those 11,700 votes that Trump was trying to find someplace. So in a situation like that, yeah, black men as a voting bloc can be a big part of the equation. And, whether or not they come out, we come out, black men in Georgia come out and support Stacey at the same rate that black women do, is a legitimate question. Now certainly black men aren't going to bear the brunt of what happens in this election on their own, no more than black women should bear the brunt of it. Some white folks could have to wake up and actually do the right thing in the state if they wanted to move forward. But I think that it is smart to raise this issue, because at the end of the day, and we hate to admit it, but there is some number of black men that will just refuse to vote. It's the sexism, it's the patriarchy that just refuse to vote for a woman, whether that woman is Stacey Abrams or whether it was Hillary Clinton in 16. And that's an issue that we have to address. Again, that's not the majority of us. It's not a plurality of us, but we have to address that, and we have to be willing to call it out and call it.
And just looking at this lineup,
And
the three black stooges here. We know who's Curly. That's Larry.
That's Mo. No offense to the real Three Stooges, but to talk about patriarchy, yeah, I did talk about this on Sunday, but I was talking specifically about Tiffany Cross's remarks. But this fool, Albright, is his name Cliff Albright, that you're blaming. So already you're trying. See, this is the problem with the liberals and the left. You want black men to go out and vote and support you, but in the same breath, you're also attacking the same people you want to support you. In the same breath, the same token, you're talking about how black men need to show up and vote, but then attacking them, trying to say we're the reasons they're doing this. The four Stooges, no, I said the Three Stooges. The other one has got to be that's got to, I don't know what to call her. That's just Snow White and the Three Stooges. Snow White and the Three Black Stooges. Remember that movie, Snow White and the Three Stooges?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Swoley. We saw Swollen down there. Beep, 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 beep. I'm Curly. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, Mo Larry, the beep, 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 the cheese. Mo Larry, the whoop, 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 fool. Whoop, 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 fool. Mo Larry, the beep, 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 cheese. I hate this shit. I hope she lose big. Now, you're not giving anybody nothing, and you're pandering.
But what it is.
Y'all are pandering to black folks. And Tiffany Cross, yeah, she was doing some stupid stuff. I already talked about this. This is what black men are not going to support you because you keep pandering, pushing other agendas. It has nothing to do with the fact that they want to support a woman or that she's because of what she looks like. No, they ain't got nothing to do with it. Black men are waking up because we want to vote in what's our best interest. You looking like me is not in my interest. Shawn.
Yeah. Well, as I see it, your Stacey Abrams big problem isn't black men. It's the fact that she hasn't put any tangibles on the table for black men. Why should black men go out here and put in a vote for a candidate just because they are black? I mean, here in New York, we've already been burnt by an Eric Adams who was supposedly to be the second black mayor, but has done absolutely nothing for black people in the time he's been in office. And we're practically tired of this whole era of these black bootlicks who come out here and put on a black face, but do nothing for black people at all. So we're tired of hearing from these black bootlicks who want to go out here and tell us, oh, we're going to try to represent you, but you're not going to do anything for us. I mean, the average black man like myself, we see that these black candidates come in, but they don't want to do anything for black men like myself, like help us get jobs or give us opportunities to build black businesses. But you want a vote for giving us nothing. And that era is over as related to black men.
It's over and done with.
Yeah. And we're tired of this stuff where you're telling us, oh, we want your vote. No, we want tangibles for our vote. And a vote is supposed to be something you get as is related to tangibles, because if you can't bring the payday for black men have no reason to get up and go vote for you. And this is something that Stacey Abrams doesn't understand, because she, like Barack Obama and the rest of these black bootlicks, they take black people for granted. And they think, oh, I'm just supposed to get this vote because I'm a part of the blue party. But it doesn't work that way. If you can't deliver on results that improve the quality of life for foundational black Americans by providing us tangibles, then you don't qualify for the job. I mean, if a Hispanic candidate goes out here and they don't bring any tangibles, the Hispanic community gets rid of that candidate. And the same thing with the Asian community. If you don't bring intangibles, you don't get a vote, you just get kicked out. And black people are tired of these hand-picked shills being foisted on us. And we're saying no more to these Stacey Abrams. After all of us got burnt by Barack Obama, a lot of people have just said enough is enough with the bootlicks, like because Barack Obama came in promising hope and change, and he gave nothing but lectures to black people. And black men just said enough is enough. If you cannot go out here and give us tangibles, then we're not going to vote for you. In fact, what we're going to do is start picking our own candidates and go out here and get the tangibles ourselves.
Right. This is Raphael Warnock, y'all. He was asked about reparations by this gentleman, and now he's answering his question when he was asked directly about it. Let me go back and rewind it right quick.
My question is, it seems that we're always dealing with the symptoms of the problems instead of the bigger issues. And it seems that's one of the issues that could kind of fix all the issues is talking about reparations. And we don't talk about reparations enough in this country. And the last that I checked, the House had gotten the HB 40 past committee. And as far as I can tell, that's where it stopped. And I know you're in the Senate, so I'm not sure what you can do about that. But I did just wonder what you could do to further that cause in America right now.
So there is a bill to study the issue of reparations. Here's what I'm for: equity and opportunity. And I wake up every day fighting for that. And I do it in such a way that I think benefits all of us. But when you look at the issue of healthcare, for example, if we can get Medicaid expanded, it would help all of us if we could get Medicaid expanded.
Oh, Lord.
But it would have a disproportionate impact on communities of color because of the
Okay, y'all. So this is it. That's it.
When we invest in jobs, when
they start rambling about other stuff, he didn't answer the question. He's not in favor of it, in my opinion. I don't think I'm alone in that assessment. Am I right, Shawn?
I have to agree with you.
Now, Shawn, Danielle, Cheryl had a question. She wanted to know, what did you think about David Dinkins David Dinkins, the mayor of New York.
I lived through the Dinkins administration. It was a nightmare. And he was another one of these incompetent black bootlegs who was there to symbolically be the first black mayor, but did nothing for black people. So he was part of the problem, just like these other bootlegs. And this is the problem with these bootlegs. Once they get theirs, they screw the black community and they go looking for white acceptance. So David Dinkins did nothing for New York's black community. In fact, he basically let the crime run rampant in black neighborhoods. And all of that chaos went on until this white tourist, Brian Watkins, wound up dead. And then he wanted to go do something about the crime. So your David Dinkins was another black bootleg who basically did nothing for black people again. And this is the type of candidate they try to foist on black people so that they can continue pushing white supremacy.
Yeah. Speaking of white supremacy, well, I guess I'll go with that. I want to talk about this thing that's going on here. This is some big news. The Celtics coach, Ime Udoka, has been announced. He has been suspended for, I said likely, well, some breaking news just came across. He has been suspended for the entire NBA 2022-2023 season. Now, Udoka, who led the Boston Celtics last year to the NBA Finals, was suspended because it was announced through an investigation that he had an inappropriate relationship with two female employees. Now, for those who don't know who Udoka is, I'm trying to Ime Udoka. This is Ime Udoka. His fiance is none other than Nia Long. Nia Long, of course, the famous actress from Boys in the Hood and Love Jones and a couple other hood classics. This is him. Now, he started his career out with the San Antonio Spurs, and eventually he became head coach of the Boston Celtics, led them to the NBA Finals where they lost to the Golden State Warriors. It was announced earlier today that he was suspended for 1 year due to engaging in a sexual, consensual, and intimate relationship with a female staffer. My information, ladies and gentlemen, I was doing some research, and you can go to Black Sports Online, was that Udoka was messing with someone of not just any employee, but a woman by the name is believed this one of the staffers was Kathleen Nemo Lynch. Now, it's been reported when you read this here from Black, and this is reported from eFocus. I'm on Black Sports Online, and they're on eFocus that Kathleen Lynch is the team service manager of the Boston Celtics, but she has been appointed with the NBA franchise for more than 7 years. But it's also being reported that he was having affairs with married Celtic staffers, because it's being reported the woman is married to the Celtics senior vice president. That's not good if that's true. The Celtics senior vice president I'm trying to find the name of the staff. According to what I looked at on LinkedIn, is that this is his wife.
Right now, Ime Udoka, first-year head coach, and remember where this team was on January 6th.
So Lynch had apparently deleted her social media a couple of days ago, reportedly because they knew the news was coming. Now, they had another young lady who they were showing who was reported to be a black woman who reported to be one of the women he was having an affair with, but I believe that has been unsubstantiated. And according to this, they even said the woman that they were showing, her name was Alliston Feaster, that was widely being reported that was not her. But if this is true, obviously he's been suspended for a year. Now, of course, what a lot of people have been talking about and it's going on social media is that they don't like how ESPN, which is basically has become the TMZ of sports. They have actually been talking about this all day on First Take and so forth. But here's what was interesting, Shawn. Now, this is the young lady that was originally named to be one of the staffers he had an affair with, Alliston Feaster, but it is not true. That her name has been cleared according to Larry Brown Sports. So it is not her, so we don't need to keep sharing her information. But what they were talking about is obviously this Miss Lynch is the one who they say allegedly was having an affair, alleged. I want to get to Shawn's take, but something miraculous happened, Shawn. And this happened today. And I tweeted this, and I want you all to see. Look who was talking about this topic. Look who actually came to Udoka's aid.
There's plenty of white folks in professional sports that's doing their thing. And I say that not complimentary. I don't see the information out about them. Why are we talking about this now? We got to talk about it because it's the news. Ain't none of our damn business unless you fire him. But if you keep him, it's none of our business. It should have never been put out there by the Celtics organization. And don't tell me you didn't do it, because you absolutely did it, because news reporters got it. So it emanated out of Boston. Somebody ain't in LA or Utah or something leaking this stuff about the Boston Celtics. Right. This is on y'all. You shouldn't have been out here. That's what I have to say. Ain't that being done to a brother? Because I got news for you, America. There's plenty of white folks in professional sports that's doing their thing.
And he is absolutely right, because we talked, and I don't know if we talked about this, Shawn, but Brett Favre, who is the former quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, he actually has been his career, his credential, everything's been called into question about him, because in the state of Mississippi, he's been involved in this scandal where he supposedly stole millions of dollars, not just him,
but along with the former governor of Mississippi, as well as state officials, even Ted DiBiase and his sons are reportedly involved in that, stealing from welfare recipients to build a damn volleyball stadium for Southern Miss. And Robert Griffin III even tweeted this, saying, if you are more upset about Ime Udoka and the Celtics situation than Brett Favre stealing millions in welfare money from the poorest people in our country in Mississippi, then you are part of the problem. So, and people putting this out about RG3, but there are other people. But Shawn, what do you make of, first off, this situation with the coach Ime Udoka? And I mean, should this even be news?
I don't know if it should be news, but I would think your Ime Udoka would have been a lot smarter. I mean, we just saw 3 years ago Bill Cosby get arrested and charged as related to allegations of sexual violence. And the whole thing is that you would think every other black man out here would have been watching himself in this era of Me Too. And it just wouldn't be, it's just not smart to be on your job when you're dealing with these females in an era of Me Too, where an allegation can basically cost you your job. You're out here trying to get with the females in your company. I
And
mean,
your boss's wives at that.
yeah, and your bosses
allegedly.
I mean, this is not smart behavior. I mean, you just saw Bill Cosby go to jail for a crime he did not commit. And these same type of females that he was chasing after are the same type of female predators that basically went and tried to put Mr. Cosby in prison for an extended period of time and helped support trying to put Mr. Cosby in prison for an extended period of time. I mean, I don't know what Kool-Aid this dude was drinking when he thought, "Oh, I'm going to get with the boss's females and make them the side piece," because basically what he was trying to do was be the black buck, trying to go out here and get with all of these different women. And that wasn't a very smart thing, because here you have a man who's in a place where his career is he's at a place where he's almost at the next level to becoming a coach who's going to lead a championship team, and he puts it all in jeopardy trying to have a side chick. And that just isn't, it just shows he doesn't have much critical thinking, and he's thinking with his dick. And I would say Ime Udoka needs to go buy my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, because what he was doing was some workplace simping, chasing after some workplace draws and hoping to get these women to go out here and get them to drop the skid mark thong, thinking about getting notches in his belt, not understanding that these same females will go out here and flip him if they don't get what they want. And possibly that could be why the story got leaked, because usually when guys are out here having women like that, what happens is one of the women don't get what they want and they decide to leak the story, and they leak the story. And
you think it was a woman that did it?
I'm thinking, yeah, because the only person who would be upset about this would be one of these females, because they're the ones who get the benefits from this type of affair. And if they don't get what they want out of an affair, what they do is leak the story and flip a guy and ruin his career. And again, any smart man knows you don't crap where you eat. I wrote about this in Stop Simping in the Workplace. And you don't crap where you eat.
He didn't get that book.
Yeah, had he got that book, he wouldn't be in this situation, because I knew ever since the days of the Clarence Thomas hearings, all the women at the job are off limits, and all the women are off limits because you don't want to lose your career. You don't want to lose your professional reputation. And what we have here with Ime Udoka is a bad case of workplace simping, because he had a lady in Nia Long. I mean, he could have just went out here, stayed with his wife. But no, he probably saw some white females at the job and thought, "Oh, I'm going to get me one of them white females." And he got several of them, and they got him jammed up. And now his career could basically be over at this point as related to the Boston Celtics. And again, black men understand, yeah, these white guys do this stuff all the time, but they have a white supremacist system to protect them. You don't have a system to protect you. So if something goes wrong, these women are going to flip you over. And when they flip you over, then you lose everything.
Now, I want to share this too. The Phoenix Suns owner, Robert Sarver, he's being forced to sell the franchise now because he also got expelled from his team over racial slurs, remarks he's made in the past. And so they're trying to force him to sell it like they did Donald Sterling. Here's my thing. If you don't sell it to a foundational Black American, if you don't sell it to a Black American, it means nothing. It's just like what happened with what they did with Donald Sterling. You know, they made him sell a team. They had to put it in a trust account. The man is still a billionaire. It did nothing. You put money in his pocket.
Yep.
They had to still sell it because he owned it. You can't take it away. And, you know, what he was saying is what most of those NFL owners are saying behind closed doors. You are a slave to them. You're a rich slave.
Yep.
That's what you are. That's why they tell you don't take a knee. That's why they tell you, you know, you're going to stand for the anthem. Or they tell you, you know, you got to wear this and that and support this cause. If all of the NBA players, the NFL players, let's be real, this is a Black league, predominantly Black. If they can't function without the athletes, if they all struck out, if they all went on strike, there's no NBA, there's no NFL. Now, it's also a business, there's contracts involved, and I think that plays a factor in it. But it's like the old Damon Wayans joke when he talked about how the news always asks that one athlete, that big nigga, he asked him, "Tell me, Jamal, do you know what racism is?" And no, sir. It did racism. I ain't sure as hell seen it. Just, but that's what some of this is. And you know, he's engaged to a beautiful woman, Nia Long. They have a daughter together, a son together. Excuse me. And people have been writing, said Van Lathan said Nia Long has 100% approval rating with Black America, and Ime Udoka is about to understand that. Somebody else said Nia Long, Udoka got caught cheating on Nia Long with Drew Brees. Give that man 2 years. Yeah. She's a beautiful woman. And she's 50, right?
Yep.
I'd say she's beautiful. But here's another thing, too. As a man, this is a guy, obviously, who's... Oh, I got to see this. This has got to be funny.
Celtics organization. I know you ain't supposed to do that shit, but I was horny, you know. A lot of people say, man, when you don't Nia Long, get your wife, man. Well, look, I've been fucking with Nia Long a long ass time. Sometimes you get tired of that shit. I don't care how fine you is. Shit. You've been dating somebody for a long time and all this ass and these Celtics and this green looking good. Shit. I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, you know, but Tatum done hit some shit too. Obviously, I cheated. You know, I've been fucking with some of these chicks in the staff from the Celtics organization. I know you ain't supposed to do that shit, but I was horny, you know.
Man, this is another. Yeah, I know it's not real. I had to laugh. I was wondering what it was. I knew it was fake, but. Man, let me ask you this though question, Shawn. Obviously does this prove the theory that a man who has options, and money, will do whatever he wants? Like,
no, I don't think so. It's just that he's just a typical whoremonger male, and he just
men cheat, like the cheating male and so forth. Like, if you have opportunity, you know, Charlamagne the God even mentioned this, that men cheat because they have opportunity.
Well, that's in certain guys, and I would just say this guy was just a typical whoremonger male. He saw all of these white women out here, and he decided he was going to go out here and get him a taste of some of them, and he thought he could get away with it. I mean, this is what whoremonger males do. They just go out here looking for women if they throw it up at them, they're going to try to go get it. But the whole thing is you wind up getting a lot of consequences behind it. And this may lead to him winding up getting divorced and wind up with him losing all of his money.
Well, they're not married. They're engaged. They've been engaged they've been together for 10 years.
Well, he wasn't looking to marry her anyway.
He's ghetto married.
He's looking to be. He's engaged. Yeah. he wasn't looking to marry her. He was just he's looking to run from woman to woman. This is just a typical whoremonger male. He just runs from woman to woman looking for some easy draws. And the whole thing is he was looking to get into that skid mark, thong at these white girls. And that's possibly maybe the thing that leads to him losing a very promising career.
Woman to woman, don't you have? I ain't singing that. That's a woman that sings that. But who's making love to your old lady while you out making love? Someone said Udoka is non-FBA, so that explains the Becky chasing. I mean, well, we have even FBA. We got FBA brothers who Becky chased too. Let's keep it real. Shit, I know Michael Jordan was doing that shit. Well, I don't know if we would say Becky chase. They throw it at him too, you know.
Yeah, Becky just want the money.
They'll throw it at him. But yeah, man. But basically, but let me ask you this question: do you think there is also a bias, obviously, with racial stuff that we're focusing on this and not, they're not talking about the white.
Yeah, there's a racial bias.
Like Brett Favre.
Yeah, there's a racial bias to it. We know that the mainstream media is anti-black, but these guys can't keep putting themselves in the line in the crossfire because we already know that the white supremacists are looking for black men to behave like this. I mean, you again would think that after Bill Cosby had to deal with that ordeal that he had to deal with, a lot of these guys would start thinking critically and saying, "Hey, let me watch how I move in these streets because they're looking for me." But no, this guy, again, he was just thinking with his rod. And because he was thinking with his rod, he wound up screwing himself possibly out of a very good job.
Now, speaking of Bill Cosby, I want to talk about this. This was on Twitter. And I want you to hear about this. This is the next topic, Shawn, about Kadeem, Hardison, and Jasmine Guy. They were on The Breakfast Club. And they talked about how A Diff'rent World, which was a spinoff of The Cosby Show, how it was treated by NBC executives. Now, before I do that, I also want to show this other clip. They talked about this article and how Jasmine Guy and Kadeem Hardison were talking about Bill Cosby. Now, Jasmine Guy stated that reflecting on Bill Cosby's conviction, she said, "I couldn't really put the two images together," the Diff'rent World actress told Page 6. She called it heartbreaking. She says, "It's heartbreaking for those in the business that admire him, his talent, and his mind. And then as a black person, it's heartbreaking because he meant a lot to the community." Guy went to male friends in an attempt to understand Cosby's actions. Basically, now, of course, they always say it was a technicality. It was not. Read the book, and I explain why it was not a technicality as to why his conviction was overturned. But she stated she went to some male friends in an attempt to understand Cosby's actions, basically talking about what he did. And she said, "Just try to understand the mentality, which is still baffling. I asked practical questions like, what pleasure do you get out of being with someone who's kind of out of it? I don't expect people to be perfect, and I don't expect human beings not to falter. I just didn't understand. I don't know. There was a meanness behind it that I couldn't understand." And then Kadeem Hardison. Now, originally I saw Kadeem Hardison support Bill Cosby. But then they were talking about it. He said on Madame Noor, he was really smitten for, he talked about here on Sirius XM. Let me see if y'all can hear it. I'm playing it right now. They were talking about how the Cosby scandal affected A Diff'rent World.
Cosby scandal, and how did it affect you guys for A Diff'rent World? How did it affect you? Did it financially, emotionally, how did it affect you? And has that now kind of shifted now that the sentencing and all of the things?
It didn't, for me, it didn't really affect us. He smartly made sure that A Diff'rent World was filmed on the other side of the country. So the ties were there because his name was on every episode, and it started about his daughter.
But we really didn't have that connection. It wasn't like he was always on or we were always there. It was two separate things.
So you guys didn't miss out on residuals and things like that because you know how like Cosby Show got taken off the air.
Yeah. Different World seemed to kind of live on its own. And
but I thought we were going to be taken off. I thought we were going to be taken off as they did Cosby, which was, you know, so unfair to all those
all the
actors
other actors
and everybody else that worked on Cosby. The actual scandal was very disheartening to me. Of course, at least all the women on the show, me, Lisa Bonet, Cree, we all were getting calls from, you know, paparazzi and press because they want to know, did it happen to us? And I was thinking, first of all, okay.
They don't know.
I don't know why I've been protected, but I've been protected. But I also want to say that there's something to this scandal that is where you don't eat where you shit kind of thing. And I never got any kind of inkling of that. But the people that were affected by what he did, they were going into the situation with open arms. Like when you're going into an audition or an interview, you're like this. Hit on me when I'm at a bar and you walk across the club and come ask me for my number. That's a man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If I'm coming to you because I want something from you, I am ingratiating myself to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not, I mean, it's him, but it's other people too. They take advantage of the moment where you're open and vulnerable. But if you step to me like a man that wants to be with me steps to me, I respect that a lot more.
All right.
Okay, wait. This is flawed. So wait. She said, you heard what she said initially?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't know.
I don't know why I've been protected, but I've been protected. But I also want to say that there's something to this scandal that is where you don't eat where you shit kind of thing. And I never got any kind of inkling of that. But the people that were affected by what he did, they were going into the situation with open arms. Like
they were groupies. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. What's different than Bill Cosby from Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Bob Hope and Bing Crosby? All of those dudes, the entire Rat Pack. They were married men. They had sex with countless women. They didn't, and trust me, they didn't have to drug any of them to get laid. How are you how? But let's go to what they're talking about now. Now they're talking about A Diff'rent World in this clip. They were on Charlemagne the God's The Breakfast Club. And I want y'all to listen carefully. Let me know if you can hear this.
I wanted to ask y'all, man, you know,
I'm not playing the clip, but
because I'm 44, so you know, like in the mid 80s, we saw black sitcoms like the Jeffersons.
Can y'all hear it?
Different Strokes, but then you know,
you can hear it.
The Cosbys came, and 227s, and Different World. But I feel like all of that just came to a abrupt end, like towards the end of the 90s. Number one, do you think that was the renaissance for black TV, and do you think there was something bigger at play to stop all of those positive images of black people on TV?
It only seems now like if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. I don't have any evidence to support it except for the optics.
Word.
So yeah, I do think it was.
Okay.
Come on with it.
This guy.
Right.
Come on with it.
Our last season, number 2, number 1, sometimes.
Yeah. Cosby, A Diff'rent World.
For 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. Okay. Why would you change our time slot? And why would you put us against Martin? Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely took that personally. You ain't got but 2 black shows on the networks and you put us at the same time against each other. And what have we done? What have we done to deserve this kind of service? You know, we're not competing with Martin. We come on at 8:30. They come on at 8. Why did you move us? That was a detriment.
Was that because Cosby Show ended? And then they put y'all up at 8 because Cosby was the lead-in?
Yeah.
Okay. So that could have been it.
Just put another 8 o'clock show in.
It probably wasn't even strong enough.
There you go.
We weren't strong enough to hold another time slot. And not against Martin.
Yeah.
I feel like we have the same audience. And so what do white people do? Divide.
That's right.
You got 2 hit shows. Let's put them on at this same time. They don't do that to their own shows. So yes, I do feel like it was deliberate. I feel like it was racist. I know who was running NBC at the time, and I don't feel we were respected.
Because I feel like,
I feel like they always
Well, you know what? If the man you threw under the bus had got his way to buy NBC, maybe your show would have been on a little bit more, huh? I'm just saying. Huh?
I said that would have been the thing, because if Bill Cosby had bought NBC, she'd have a place on the network.
In between Cosby and Cheers, and that's why you're number 2. They said that to my face.
You can't have no more money.
I did Dennis.
Dennis Miller?
Yes.
So what was Cheers? Was Cheers 3? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They were 3.
Got you. So they thought it was because of the network that these shows were having all the success.
Because of the time slot.
Because
between 1 and 3, we gotta be 2.
Got you.
Not
because we between 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Right.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
But that you make that a point that I come on a nighttime talk show with Joan Rivers or Dennis Miller, and that's the first thing out your mouth. Well, how does it feel to be between Cosby and Cheers? And sometimes I didn't know how to answer it.
And shit, it was.
And Dennis Miller even said to me, that was a horrible lead. Yes.
What?
Because you fucking insulted me and you acting like I'm the shit. Which one am I? What am I doing?
Because if the show was ruined the weekend,
right.
people would have turned off right after the Cosby Show and not watched that or Cheers.
Did they pay y'all like y'all were wanting to? Did y'all get paid or did y'all have to fight for that?
Did
they pay y'all like they paid?
Oh, we had to fight.
Fight for that. I went and did White Man Can't Jump.
Can I have another champagne?
Here we go.
Give us some of the good stuff.
I went and did White Man Can't Jump
Cold Duck.
and met
No more
Woody Harrelson, and he was doing Cheers, and they had a way bigger ensemble, and he kind of let me in on what he was making. I was like, y'all number 3? What?
Damn.
I know. That's when it hurts.
What?
It's when we talk to other people.
Yeah, word up. What? We went out into the field and found out the Cheers they was getting. I was like, how?
Because they have the complexion for the protection. But if you had simply asked, like I said, Dr. Cosby, if he's running NBC, and at that time, remember the Cosby Show went off in 92, so you guys stayed on for another year. Maybe because of the clout that he had, and if he had owned this network, you would be on longer, and you probably would have gotten a little boost in your salary, don't you think? And I listened to Jasmine Guy. I listened to Kadeem Hardison. I'm disgusted by these coons. I'm gonna unleash Shawn. I'm disgusted by bootlicks because you guys, and this is just not just them in general. Black Hollywood, as Judge Joe Brown told me, is filled with cowards. How can you attack somebody that gave you life, gave you a career, excuse me. You don't know all of the facts, and I get you're a woman, and I'm not trying to demonize women who have been assaulted or whatever, but we know this type of stuff happens where they frame black men. Bill Cosby is a black man. He's a successful black man. when I listen to the stories, if you listen carefully, he's no different. The stories are no different than what I'm hearing with the Rolling Stones or the Beatles, the Beatles, or Steely Dan, or I don't know, the Rat Pack, Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, or any NFL or NBA athlete, like we were just talking about just a second ago. If it's a consensual relationship, that's not rape. And you don't know that for a fact. You guys can't even have the respect and decency to say, I don't know everything. I don't know the facts. No comment. I didn't go through what they said, but I don't know. I'm not saying they're lying, but I'm not saying it's the fact. Something like that. But go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, well, they both threw Cosby under the bus, hoping to get some crumbs from the white media's table, but they're going to find themselves with absolutely nothing at all. I was absolutely disgusted hearing them talk bad about Bill Cosby and then trying to say that, that things were bad for these reasons. And I'm sitting there going, I was there in 92 and 93. I just graduated high school. I saw the Cosby Show and I saw them move A Diff'rent World over. And the whole thing is that this usually happens with the networks. Again, they were getting ready to replace A Diff'rent World anyway. They were getting ready to kill that show anyway because they didn't really want a show about black kids going to college on their network. They were planning on moving Cheers over to 9 o'clock so they could have Seinfeld come in, because Seinfeld had just came on the air, and they were planning on moving that show over to build it up to their must-see TV schedule. So she's sitting there saying that, that they were getting ready to end that show anyway because it didn't fit the white media's narrative. And again, the only reason why the Diff'rent World and the Cosby Show were on was because Bill Cosby's influence and Bill Cosby's clout. And if it wasn't for Bill Cosby, your Kadeem Hardison wouldn't be working. Your Jasmine Guy wouldn't be working. They wouldn't have become household names. It was Bill Cosby.
He was on the Cosby Show. I'm sorry, Shawn, but he was on the Cosby Show actually before he did A Diff'rent World. He did an episode where he was Theo's friend.
Yeah, he was on there. And if it wasn't for Bill Cosby cutting him breaks and cutting Jasmine Guy breaks, they wouldn't be here right now. I mean, they would be still pounding the pavement, going to different auditions, because it's very hard for black actors to get work. But Bill Cosby opened the door for a lot of brothers and sisters. And these people, again, don't appreciate the work that Bill Cosby did to kick down the door to create that golden age. Because, again, we wouldn't have that golden age if it wasn't for Bill Cosby. And a lot of black people don't know how bad black television was at one time. I mean, I lived in the age of the Jeffersons and the Good Times, and it wasn't a good time until Bill Cosby came along. And these people are ungrateful. They're thinking, there's going to be more opportunities. But we see from the way Hollywood has been doing black people with movies like The Woman King in the last 20 years, ever since Monsters Ball came along, the image of black people has not been as positive. And again, people don't appreciate what Bill Cosby did in opening that door. And what's sad is we've got these bootlicks trying to nail it shut, not understanding they're about to cut themselves out of a job and cut themselves out of the entertainment business because they don't see the work that Bill Cosby did to get them over.
That's Jasmine Guy, man. Ugh. I used to think Jasmine Guy was the most beautiful woman on earth. One of the most. She was real gorgeous.
Yeah.
But they say black don't crack.
No. Nope.
Well.
She shattered across the wall.
She's not black. She's like mocha.
Yeah.
Mocha caramel.
I'll be right back. I just need to...
I'm trying to be. See, everybody's entitled to their opinion, so I get that. But when I see stuff like this, and you are a black woman that is supporting this shit, as a black woman, they would know better that it's easy for a black man to get set up. Somebody talked about. I tried to watch Seinfeld, but it was just not funny in my opinion. Well, the guy who actually created Seinfeld was a dude named Larry David. Larry David is the guy who did Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he's the guy who actually, he's the man that actually created Seinfeld, that show. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld, of course, had some input in it, but he was the genius behind that show. And there was some stuff with Seinfeld I did find funny. I'm not gonna lie. There's other stuff because it was a show basically about nothing. That's what the premise of it was. Now, if you go and watch Seinfeld perform stand-up, I was watching Corey Holcomb's 5150 show. Seinfeld is not that good. Seinfeld be bombing. And bombing happens all the time, but I've heard that. But about him, but when it keeps happening, every comedian bombs. But if it keeps happening often, over and over again, you might want to consider a different career, or you may want to need to make some serious adjustments. But Bill Cosby was the reason why NBC was must-see TV. Now, that came about because of him and his success. The shows that she mentioned, we were between Cosby and Cheers. Cheers came out about a year before the Cosby Show. And I think it was that 1983, 84 season. I could be wrong. But Cheers was even struggling in the ratings at one point.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. Cheers was actually struggling in the ratings at one point, Shawn. It wasn't a top 10 hit. And they call that show one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. One of the greatest shows of all time. And if you look at the ratings on that show, so I'm trying to see right here. Yeah, but this was Cheers. And if you look at the ratings, you look here. Ratings improved the summer reruns after the first season. The cast went on various talk shows to further promote the series after its first season. By the second season, Cheers was in competition with the show Simon and Simon on CBS. With the growing popularity of Family Ties, which ran in the slot ahead of Cheers from 1984 until Family Ties was moved to Sundays in 1987, and the placement of The Cosby Show in front of both at the start of their third season, the lineup became a runaway success, eventually dubbed must-see TV. Cosby ran the front. He's the reason why NBC is what it is. Eddie Murphy saved Saturday Night Live. Bill Cosby saved NBC. This is the ratings here. Just look at it.
Yep. Those are the ratings. I read them back when I was in high school.
It was the #1 show. It tied All in the Family.
Yep.
You read it right here. I mentioned this in my book. All in the Family and The Cosby Show are the only sitcoms in the history of Nielsen ratings to be #1 for 5 seasons. And in all of its 8 seasons, it was in the top 20. That could not have been done without Bill Cosby. Cheers, Family Ties. I remember Night Court was on Thursday nights at one point too.
Yeah, the block was the Cosby Show. Usually, until A Diff'rent World came along, they had various shows that came in and there. And then A Diff'rent World came in. Then it was Cheers and Night Court. That was considered the must-see TV block. Was topped off with LA Law at 10 p.m.
Right. Well, this is the rating blocks here. Night Court used to be my show.
Yeah.
I love Night Court, but you look here in the 80s when they switched. Now look, in January of 1984 to May of 1984, it was ranked 41. Then the ratings picked up. It got to 20 in 1984-85. That's when Cosby came on. 11, 7, 7, 21, 28. Now it ended on the same. It ended with Cosby on that same. I don't think on that same day, but in that same, that same time year. It was on from 84 to 92.
Yep. But I remember when Cheers was in 82nd place in the first season. Then if it wasn't for Cosby, it wouldn't have went nowhere.
No, it would have gone nowhere. Yeah, Night Court was the shit. I loved John. I love Dan Fielding, John Larroquette, who's from New Orleans. Harry Stone, the late Harry Anderson, and Charles Robinson, and Marshall Warfield. Marshall Warfield even threw Bill Cosby under the bus.
Yeah, they all did.
Yeah.
'Cause they all want to get brownie points with White Hollywood, thinking that they're going to get points with them, but White Hollywood throws everybody under the bus.
All right. Let me go be a Bull Shannon, but who's the actor? Mole. Richard Mole. Yeah. All right. I wonder if he's coming back. You know they rebooting Night Court.
Yeah, well, yeah, John Larroquette's supposed to be the judge, but I don't know if I want to watch that.
No, I heard it's gonna be Harry's daughter that's the judge,
Oh.
and John Larroquette's coming back as Dan Fielding. But I don't know if they're gonna meet too Dan Fielding.
He would definitely get Me Too because he was raw back then.
Yeah, and at first he didn't start out that way. He was pompous, but then he became this lurch.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's this rake. Yeah. So let's talk about this. So your Tiffany Haddish, she spoke recently about the lawsuit that was dropped. She was approached by some people at TMZ. Excuse me. She was approached by TMZ about what was going on. With the lawsuit dismissed. Now she's saying that she can't find work. Like she lost all of her gigs. Now, obviously, because there's a copyright, I can't play it. You know, they will copyright shit instantly, TMZ. But you can listen, and let's play the clip so you can hear it. But she basically stated she lost all her jobs.
You know, how does it feel to have that behind you? I know that was probably a stressful thing.
You think?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Do you feel like, you know, that there could be some damage done, you know, to the career, you know, after this? Because it's behind you now, but like, is that something?
Oh, I lost everything. All my gigs gone.
Really?
Everything gone.
So I mean, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a bad look. But now that they've changed space, you know,
I
you
don't
feel
know,
like
bro.
you regain your.
I don't have no job.
Well, look.
I don't have no job, bro.
That's not good. That's not good. We love you.
Moist. Jackass TMZ. So Tiffany's saying she can't get any new gigs from this lawsuit. Now, of course, Shawn, you know that this lawsuit recently, it was announced on Tuesday that the accusers had dropped this lawsuit and dismissed it on their own volition, meaning their own will, with prejudice. And they wrote a nice statement about Tiffany Haddish, basically, and I'm paraphrasing for everybody about the lawsuit. But what they stated was that, and I'll read it here. My family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years, and we now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us. We wish Tiffany the best and are glad that we can all put this behind us. The complaint was originally filed on August 30th, and in it, the alleged victims claimed that Haddish, 42, coerced the then 14-year-old girl and her then 7-year-old brother to take part in an explicit comedy skit. I'm not going to play that skit. You've already seen it, with focuses on Ari Spears, who plays a child predator, basically lusting over this boy in his underwear. And Tiffany Haddish supposedly, and I didn't see this video, but supposedly is teaching the girl how to do fellatio by eating a sandwich or something like that. Something along those lines. But what it looks like, Shawn, and I'll say this, it looks like they paid them some money. People got paid, and now it's over with for them. They got the money that they wanted. And I'm wondering what happens, because remember, I don't know if you saw this, but they were calling for Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears to be arrested by the DA's office. Are they going to retract that statement? What's your thoughts, Shawn?
Well, your Tiffany Haddish basically destroyed her own career, because if you've got a lawsuit that's about your participating in deviant behavior, no studio is going to touch you because you're a liability. And your Tiffany Haddish basically made herself a liability by participating in this lawsuit. And once she did that, no studio is ever going to touch you. I mean, there are certain behaviors that the studios can go glance over, like an extramarital affair or some other thing like drug use. They can gloss over that, they can patch that up and still focus on your public image. But once you've come out here and you're participating in sexual deviancy, there's no way that they can use you for any project at that point. You're basically blacklisted yourself because no studio is going to want to be out here with you, because if a scandal blows up as related to this, they're going to lose millions of dollars on that project. So your Tiffany Haddish basically has ended her own career. I mean, that whole disgusting comedy sketch just put the nail in the coffin for her career. And she's trying to make herself out to be a victim of things, but she's not a victim. She made the choice to participate in that depraved comedy sketch. And that joke, that the comedy sketch was no laughing matter to America's mothers and children, who are primarily and the fathers too, but the families out here that are the main ones who buy tickets, they have no incentive to support any sort of work by your Tiffany Haddish. And again, she wants to make herself a victim. But if you understood how the business worked, you would understand that there's certain behaviors you can't go out here and participate in. And one of those behaviors that will get you blacklisted is going out here and participating in sexual deviancy with children, or implying that you want to participate in sexual deviancy with children. Once you do that, no producer is going to put money on you, because they're not going to be enabled to get a return at any shape or form. Because once you do that, you're practically done. I mean, especially if you're a black performer. I mean, even Woody Allen, people didn't want anything to do with him either, because he was just so twisted. But the whole thing is, this is not a good.
But he didn't lose his career either.
Yeah, well, he was white and they protected him. But the whole thing is that anybody else does it, their career is over. And with your Tiffany Haddish, right now, she better start saving her money, because at this point, she's basically done as a performer.
So you don't see. Well, here's the thing. I've actually looked at this. She is supposed to be doing. I know it's filming the Haunted Mansion movie that's coming out. I also saw that she's going to be doing. They say that she's been brought back for an Apple TV series. If you don't remember, Tiffany was in. Had starred in a television series on Apple TV called The After Party, and supposedly she's coming back for the next season. After this, who knows what they will do subsequent to that. But do I think she's likely to make a comeback? I think probably when this stuff blows over, she is going. I think she will do some. Me personally, I think she will get some gig. She'll be back making movies. Now, maybe she may not be doing leading roles and so forth like she was doing earlier, but I don't think they're gonna actually take her off the stuff. But what you did 15 years ago, 10 years ago can come back and haunt you. Even if you thought of it as a joke, now everybody is looking at things from back then. And I'm not even talking about the subject matter of that skit. I'm just saying in general, everybody's looking back at that joke, at that sketch, at that movie and questioning it. The movie Airplane has pedophile jokes in it, Shawn. The movies, scary movies, the scary movies have pedophile jokes in it. There's a scene in Scary Movie 2 when James Woods, when the little girl who's the possessed demon says, fuck me, and James Woods, as a priest, is jumping on top of her. So they've always had stuff like this. It's just that this, and I'm not defending the skit, because I just thought it was in poor taste and it wasn't even funny. But it was just, and it was graphic what they did. They went too far with stuff like that. I just didn't see the joke in it. I'm done really talking about it, but yeah. And I know some people who don't like Tiffany. I met Tiffany Haddish. I told y'all this before. She was pretty nice to me. She was a nice person. I can't deny that. But that came back and to bite her. Now, somebody said, Derek Bailey said she will do direct-to-video movies. 17% of you, I asked, would she be back since this lawsuit has been dismissed? 17% say yes. 83% of you say no. Unsunken One says she doesn't have any talent. She was just picked. Derek Bailey says she will. Yeah, Derek said she's going to go to directly to DVD movies, direct to video movies. Lavatribia Lawson says Tiffany is just another in the long line of broken tools by white supremacists. So 38% say yes, 62% say no. Okay. Well, I don't know. I think our time will tell what happens with it, but I mean, I don't see her doing a Disney movie right now. I certainly think there will be people that will be protesting that. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that. But Shawn, I'll let you have the last word if you have something you want to say.
Well, I don't have anything else to say because this is that Tiffany Haddish. She just destroyed her own career. And again, you got to watch yourself out here when you're in the entertainment business, because something you did in the past, people will always try to dig it up. There's a lot of haters in Hollywood. So you got to really watch what you do when you're out here. And this is just a lesson for everybody who wants to go in the entertainment industry. Watch what you do, watch what you say, because you never know when somebody will take what you said years ago and use it against you.
Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Unsunken One says, I have more talent in my pinky than she has in her whole body. I take that as a compliment, I guess. One Sunken One says, right. They grabbed her because Monique was calling out the anti-black racism in Hollywood. Yeah, she's supposed to play Flojo in a biography. I don't know about that one. Yeah, but Ari Spears, his career, he's done. He's been done. He's like a hot potato in the microwave. You stick a fork in him. Shit, he's the burnt potato. They'll throw his ass away. All right. Well, I don't have much more to say. I want to thank someone. Now, I've asked you all to please donate to this channel, as this channel is not monetized. But shout out to Miss Cheryl Massey. She actually gave a donation to me. I appreciate it, Miss Cheryl. Let's see. I think Miss Cheryl, yeah, she hit me up tonight. So thank you for showing some love, Miss Cheryl. It's always appreciated. We don't have much more to say tonight. This was a great show. I would ask you all to please, if you would, I always talk about donating to Cash App. Another way you can support me, of course, is buying NawniesCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawnies goes great with every dish. And also join the Patreon. If you have a black-owned business, I want you to advertise with our channel. And also, if you would like, you can purchase some of our book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. You need to buy that right now on Kindle. Looks like Danielle is about to go into hibernation. So Danielle, I'll see you later. She's dozing in and off. The baby is keeping her up, I bet. Computer Robot says she thinks she'll be back in some future minor roles, but at the same time, he could be wrong. I saw Tiffany Haddish perform and stand up at there's a spot we go to called the High Hole Lounge in New Orleans. She did phenomenal. I can't deny that, man. She did minutes and she rocked the high special guest.
Excuse me.
But yeah. So I think we had a terrific show. So Shawn, I want you to tell us exactly what you like. It's gonna be it's not make it up like Sleepy Joe.
Well, I don't think there's going to be a live stream on Friday. I'm still thinking about what I want to talk about. but I may not do a stream because they're doing an AEW 2-hour Rampage, so it's up in the air. It might be a live stream, maybe Saturday or Sunday, but I don't know about Friday. So I'm just letting everybody know in advance.
Yeah, you could try and you could talk about AEW. What's going on with and what's going on with CM Punk, because little people calling for firing him.
Well, there's rumors that he's not going to be a part of the AEW after this, so it's still in the air.
Yeah.
They're thinking about buying his contract out and writing him off.
So we see why WWF had issues with him. Huh?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember exactly. This happened at a pay-per-view event. He I guess went against the script.
Yeah, on All Out, he basically badmouthed Tony Khan, the owner, and he badmouthed all of the executives who were a part of the Elite, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega after the match. And that basically led to a big fight between the Bucks, Omega, and your CM Punk. And basically, your CM Punk basically destroyed his career and basically just ruined or it was already a weak pay-per-view, but he had already made it worse with his behavior.
All right. Okay, Shawn. Well, we're gonna move on and wrap it up, brother. But we appreciate you. Why don't you promote your book?
All right. Well, The Woman Crisis is available for pre-order right now on Kindle. And if you want to get a digital version of The Woman Crisis, you can get it on Amazon.com. And you can also get it on other online booksellers such as Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to pick up some of my other positive Black fiction like ISIS Legacy and East-Team Horror of the Hyena Woman and the other 80-plus titles of the SJS Direct imprint, you can find all those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com. And you can also find all of those books at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. I really would appreciate if you guys picked up some of the books on the SJS Direct imprint. Every sale helps me build the business further and helps me reach more people all over the world with positive Black fiction.
Yeah, check out and pre-order The Woman Crisis on Amazon, guys, and please make sure to get the book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., available on Kindle. What I'll likely do Sunday, I might take some calls. I was thinking if we could do a call right quick, but yeah, I probably will roll out. Shawn looks like he's ready to roll out too, so so I won't keep it further. But Sunday, I'm gonna open the line. We can do some calls then. So Miss Cheryl, if you want to call in Sunday. We'll do that. But this has been a great live stream tonight. And it's just been terrific. You know, it's been terrific. And Shawn, I really appreciate you. You know, you do the great things for this country and for the men in this country. And it's just terrific.
All right.
Well, personally, let me just say, I hope, you know, if Ime Udoka, here's the thing. The Celtics, they can't win without Udoka. Because here's the thing. They can't win without Udoka. But also, they got to eat Subway, Ernie. You know, they got to eat Subway to stay fresh, because it's fresh, Ernie. Something trouble, you know, that's just terrible. He got caught in the cookie jar on the owner. Now, he like them Beckers just like me. But here's the thing. You know, you can't mess knucklehead with the owner, with the vice president wife. That's just terrible. I know you the big man on campus, but that's just terrible. You can't foul like that. I know it's a foul. Call a damn foul. I know he Michael Jordan. Call a foul. Call a foul. Chuck. It's over. It was in the 90s. Yeah, there was for those that don't know, if you go back when Charles Barkley played for Houston, he got upset and got a technical foul because he complained that Michael Jordan they didn't call a foul on Michael Jordan. And he said, I know he Michael Jordan, but call a foul. And the referee said, you're teed up, Barkley. You're teed up. That's just terrible, Ernie, you knucklehead. Yeah, I just want to say, you know, I could have played for the Celtics. I could have banged any of them women, but you know, I could have gotten away with it too because I'm the Diesel. I'm Superman. I got everything. Can you dig it? Shaq, you think Shaq could have gotten away with this If it wasn't Emu, if it was Shaq, you think he could have gotten away with doing all of that?
Nope. No
You know,
black man can get away with messing with the boss's woman. The white supremacists on the slave plantation ain't gonna allow that.
But I'm the Diesel. I play for LSU. I always talk in intervals just so I can make everybody think it's real cool to be slow and do this because Kobe couldn't do it, Ernie couldn't do it, Kenny couldn't do it, and then I'll go ahead, Chuck. He sure as hell can do it. I'm having fun with this mic. All right, Shawn, I know I've kept you. Yeah, no black man. Yeah, that's true. They're going to catch you eventually. You can have your fun, but it comes back to haunt you. Like Della told Martin Lawrence in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, a night of passion can lead to a lifetime of pain. That's a good point. All right, we're going to end it like that, ladies and gentlemen. Please buy Stop Simping in Cyberspace and The Workplace by Shawn James on Amazon. Support our brother. And also, of course, to support me, I told you about Nani's Creole Blends. Make sure you subscribe to @Commonwealth our Facebook page, and buy books such as Video Soul and Gotta Get On Up. And speaking of which, we're going to get on up and wrap this thing up. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank y'all for tuning in. It's been a great live stream. I was trying to see if there were any comments, but and there have been some. And just before I leave out, I'm just looking at this poll. So 70% of you say no, and 30% say yes, that Tiffany Haddish will be back. Yeah. It's the nays have it as of now. What if she got pregnant? Ooh. Then they really would bring the abortion laws back. All right, guys. I'll see you. Thank you, Shawn.
All right, thank you.
And this has been another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on Channel G Boot 2786 on Facebook. I'll holler at you, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we will always see our brother Shawn James come back because he will make a critical examination of everything. Before I get off, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say something special. Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, will mark the 70th birthday of someone you have seen on this show many times, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess I will say it right now. I would want y'all to wish my father, Leon Richard, a happy 70th birthday. So happy early birthday, Dad. All right, guys. Good night.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll go.
And happy belated birthday, Mason.
Show me what you got.
My nephew.
Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, start to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Happy birthday, Mr. Richard. This is John Barkley. And all you knuckleheads out here, y'all got to say something about this man. I wish him a happy birthday, because if you don't, I'm going to personally come and throw your ass out the window like I did back in 2000. After the Rockets kicked me off the team. Y'all got to do this. That's right. It's going to be a great birthday. It's going to be terrific. Terrific. Pocahontas has nothing to do with it. Neither does Sleepy Joe. It's over. It's over for them. Period. This is William Shatner. And I just would like to say happy birthday to Mr. Leon Richard, Doctor of Pharmacy. I'm sure he's going to enjoy his retirement. And I'm sure he's going to enjoy a hell of a birthday. Bill Shatner signing off. Scotty, beam us out. Got it, Captain.